Hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com. I'm playing World of Tanks. The tank I am playing is the E25. However, this is about crew experience. You're going to notice something that's unusual. You'll note that in my crew, the first person has 94% on the second skill, and the second one has 94% on the second skill. The third one has 94% on the second skill, and the last one has 89% on the second skill. And the question is, why do you get these little discrepancies? Sometimes the reason why is because they came from a tank. For example, the ELC I think only has a crew of 2, and then you add another crew member later, so one of your crew members is a little bit behind. But you might say, well, I've had the same crew with the same tank from the beginning and the numbers are still off. And I'm going to explain to you the reason why that can happen. If you look at this gentleman's personal file, you'll see he has 9,420 left to increase his skill. And if you look at this one, you'll see he has 9,621. And if you look at this one, you'll see it's 8,191. These guys, all three of these guys, the commander, the gunner, and the driver, are all on their second skill at 94%. I don't know if you can see the mouse cursor, but they all need different quantity in order to upgrade to the next skill percentage. When he completes his 8,191 experience, his skill goes up to 95%. But the question is, if these three guys have been playing together all this time, why don't they have the exact same number? There may be more than one answer as to why this is, but I can give you one definite reason why. Sometimes when you're playing, a crew member becomes injured or dies during the game. And you'll get a message in the game where it will say, oh, our loader is injured. We're trying to take over his position. We'll do the best we can. Or sometimes it'll say, oh, the loader is dead. So you get messages like that. When they die, I don't think they get the experience from that battle. So it's very important when you play a game to make sure that your crew is healthy when the game is over. Otherwise you might be losing some of that crew experience. You might want to have a repair kit, a medical repair kit, that you can use in the event that someone is injured or dead who you're trying to upgrade, and maybe spend a little bit of money to make sure you don't lose whatever experience. For example, if you're going to win a game and get a double victory or a 3 times victory or a 5-time victory, and it's with a premium tank, and you don't want to lose what could be, I've seen it go down 8,000 before. You could use your medical repair kit to heal the injured crew member, and hopefully it should correct that problem. But I don't know if that is actually a solution. So I'm going to be doing some monitoring. I've recorded the skill numbers for all of my crew, and I'm going to see what happens after a game of play. So I'm going to take this into battle right now, and then afterwards I'm going to record how much experience has changed. I have all the original numbers recorded, and I'm going to see if they change by the exact same amount or not. And hopefully one of our crew members will be injured. No, it's unlikely to happen, but you know, it can happen. When your tank explodes, sometimes your crew survives the destruction of your tank. And there's actually a skill or a perk. It's called, I don't remember what it's called. It's like Revenge or something like that, for the radio operator, where he can continue to report positions, enemy positions, if the tank explodes and he survives. Maybe it's called Call for Vengeance.
Let's get this show on the road.
Okay, so I'm going to head on the rail area. Excuse me. There's no enemy SPG units. However, they got a lot of tank destroyers on their team. And I do have a fast tank. 2.59 second reload. So I'm going to head this way. As you can see, I'm way ahead of my allies. And I've learned many times over that's a big mistake. I'm going to wait for my allies to catch up. Looks like they're taking positions on the peninsula. They're going down to K0, which means there's no way they're going to advance against the enemy. They're just going to sit back. You cannot really advance from that peninsula position. Okay, so I'm going to move forward and see if I can spot some enemy targets. That tank that's on the peninsula is actually quite a fast tank. Nothing spotted. Okay, somebody spotted me.
We're done for. Everyone get out.
Yeah, they spotted me. I didn't see them. And my allies are all the way back there. They can't really do anything about it. So they were sitting over there hiding on me. Well, it's a lesson learned. What to do when both sides are camping. I have the feeling that if I had the situation again, I'm just going to go somewhere else on the map. I thought about running across the swamp. However, the swamp, the water might be too deep for this tank. But the other thing I could have done is stayed on the other side of the slope that's right behind my tank and stayed low, and maybe I would have been able to get a little bit closer to them. I have to figure out a way that I can sneak up on this area without being spotted, and you can get basically to that slope before you start running a risk. And how quickly can you get across? Can you get maybe what you do is you get on that slope, you cut across this little area, go behind this other slope, and then go up and across the other side, and maybe you can flank them and take them by surprise. They're going to spot you, but they've got to turn their gun, and you're going to be behind them, and you've got a building to block some of the shots. Okay, so I have to wait until the game is over before I can measure the change in my crew experience, which might be 0 after that game. Well, we could look at my awful teammates and see what they're doing. Why did they wait so long to advance? Now they're advancing. What's the difference between advancing all at the beginning and not advancing at the beginning? There's no difference. It's going to be the same number of tanks in the same place. It's not like if they wait, they're going to have a fleet of 50 tanks showing up on their side or something like that. And it's not as if they wait, less enemy tanks are going to show up. They still have to fight the battle. I think they failed to advance because they're afraid. Maybe, perhaps, I'll try to do a run along the water there. It might offer more defense and let me get closer to the enemy. Unless they're up on that hill over there. So I'm going to give that a shot next time I play this map with a fast tank. And they won't laugh so much when I take them out of the game, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's a learning tactic. This is one of the maps that I don't know so well, and you'll notice that you probably don't play this map very often. there is a Firefly, which looks a lot like the M4 type of tank. Okay, so as you can see, there's my dead tank, and he's following along the slope of the hill, which is the way I probably should have gone. And then over here is where you would have been exposed. Excuse me. Unless, you know what, I'm going to have to see if I can make a path through the water. But unfortunately, the water is deep. If you look in the middle of the map, F6 area, you'll notice that it's light blue, because there's actually a little bridge area you can cross through. I'll show it in another video. So the water is deep, but that's the shallow part. It goes right through. Who knows why they designed it? It's just one of the goofy things in the game that you might not know about until someone points it out to you. Come on, Dicker. Now, this is where flanking really should come into play. That CDC is doing a lousy job flanking this SU-152. He's so much faster. And even the Firefly, I mean, they're so much faster. They would easily flank it, and they left it up to the Dickerbacks to get the 2 final shots in. And the CDC apparently is heading back to base, which actually is somewhat of a smart decision. A tier 6 and a tier 7. It's possible that that guy's not in the game. Oh no, he is. He's moving. The smart thing to do would be to spread out somewhat. Head to the next house type of thing. They should spread out more. Well, one of them should have gone to one side of the building, but they're afraid. And the other one should have gone to the other side of the building, but they both went to the same side of the building because they saw the enemy and they're fearful of him. And now that they don't see him, part of that fear has gone away. Oh, I guess he's a camper. I didn't know we had campers this late in the game. That Firefly doesn't look like he's doing anything useful. He's not going to be part of the combat. He obviously doesn't know how to play very well. Although he's got someone now he has to deal with. A T-150, and it doesn't look like he's shooting. You want to shoot and run, not just run. Let's see if he can do any damage to that guy. Looks like the Dicker Max is trying to reposition. And the Firefly, I don't have faith in the Firefly. I don't think the Firefly is going to pull this off. Unless he's got a lot of luck on his side. The Dicker Max seems like he's a little bit more capable of a player. Now, he ain't going to make it for long. This is where he dies. You out of ammo, Firefly? That's the correct question. He's certainly not engaging the enemy, that's for sure. Okay, so that's the game. The Firefly did absolutely nothing useful, which is sad. But that's okay. I mean, he could be a young player. He could be 10 years old for all you know. Okay, so now we get to see the results. What happened to my crew? We will look at... They're all at 94 and 89, so that's all the same. So the commander went to 8259. And the gunner 8460. The driver 7030. And the loader 6850. So I would say this was a change of 1,161 for him. His is 1611, same number. His is 22. One of them, the loader, got double the experience. The commander, 1. That's 2, that's 11, that's 6, that's 4, that's 3, that's 1, 1. Okay, so for some reason, the loader got double the experience on this game as compared to my other crew members. Okay, I will explain the reason why. The reason why is because this is an elite tank. And one of the options is accelerate crew training. The least experienced crew member is trained twice as fast. So they all received 1,161 experience for the game, and the one that was the least experienced got double, which is 2,322. So they all received exactly the same amount of experience in terms of their share. Their share was equal. There were no injuries or premature deaths during the game. At the time that the tank exploded, they were all in the same situation in terms of their health. So I was unable to show that that there's a difference caused by an injured player. And it's going to be very difficult because it's very rare to have an injured player. But that's where you're going to see the difference. You record your numbers, you play the game, you take another record, and if someone's injured, you're going to see a difference in one of those numbers from an injured player or a player that did not survive. I'm pretty sure they don't get their skills. If you have any questions, please post them below.